Hello, and welcome to today's review of the Transformers Kingdom Voyager class Cyclonus. Now, just gotta get this out of the way, this Target Master didn't originally come with Cyclonus. This is his Target Master from the Battle in Space 2-pack with Rodimus. It came out many years ago, about 2010-ish. I'll get to him eventually. As you can see, he's a beautiful little guy. Painted legs, painted face, painted gun barrel. He's actually more poseable than your typical Target Master nowadays, at least the ones that pack him with deluxes. Even though Siege had similar Target Masters that kind of move just as much as this guy can. Anyway, so we're going to put him off to the side, move on to Cyclonus. And as you can see, he's a beautiful figure. You know, he's a bit yellowed because Hasbro seem to have this weird QC problem where grey figures yellow now. I'm not sure why, but this guy came out about, let's say 4 years ago now. I remember getting him on a trip to Birmingham, and yeah, it was cool. You know, cool experience. I grabbed a fair few Kingdom figures. I picked up my Voyager 86 Hot Rod. I picked up Earthrise Skylinks. I picked up this guy. I picked up Kingdom Warpath. Somewhere down the line, I ended up picking up Kingdom Red Alert. That was like during the same year, but I don't remember if it was the same trip. The same Forbidden Planet store had Siege Omega Supreme somehow, and I ended up getting him for like 130, which was a bargain. Anyway, so generally ramble over. This guy's quite cool. Looks beautifully accurate to the movie. Which really makes me question what are they going to do if they make a Studio Series 86 figure of this, because it's not like they can improve on an awful lot. Maybe they'll change the shade of purple, fix the grey plastic issue with all the yellowing by potentially just kind of casting this hip piece, these hands, biceps and legs like all in a different colour plastic and then painting like the lilac colour over the top of it like he was in the movie. But other than that, I can't think of what they're going to do. But like I can't really elaborate, or I can't really express any of my other feelings towards this guy, like besides saying he's just bloody amazing. Like he's far and away one of my favourite Transformers figures, like ever. And for the Voyager class, he's definitely the best Hasbro have put out in God knows how long. Onto articulation. We're going to move straight into it. Arms go up like this. They're on this weird shoulder joint, so that's going to move with them. When you come in back round, these wingtips on the back of the arm, they're going to clash a little bit with other parts of the figure, but it's fine. You know, it doesn't really stop it. So they go all the way up, all the way around. You're going to go for a 90-degree bend, or just over, at the elbow. You got full-on bicep swivel, doing a full 360. Or maybe not, you know, because you're really going to have to fiddle with the wing tips on the back to get the arms rotated all the way around. So let's just discount that a little bit. Does he have wrists? The answer to that question should be a yes. But the problem is, they're really goddamn tight, right? As you can see, I'm kind of having to use an awful lot of force, so I don't want to break it. So, wrists, kind of. You know, head, mega movement on this one, you know, it goes all the way around. Up, down, any direction, confused dog look. Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. His waist does the full swivel. Legs kick up that much, pretty standard. Back that much, fairly standard. Knees pull a bit more than 90. Looks a bit weird if you pull this joint out too much because it kind of doesn't line up with the rest of the leg, so the knee ends up really far forward. But you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. Legs, you know, beautiful banana split, right? Then move down, you got a 360-degree thigh swivel. It's got ankle pivot, you know, it goes that far and then back in. Yeah, so Generally, the articulation on this is solid. It's definitely the thing he does worse. But yeah, so next up we're going to move on to a size comparison with some other figures that would generally go well with Cyclonus. So first of all, with Cyclonus we have Takara Legends Galvatron. My version of the figure has the render form upgrade kit head and these additional parts to attach the cannon onto a separate part of the arm. So yeah, they look beautiful together, slightly different shades of purple. Galvatron, I believe, is more accurate to what Cyclonus was in the 86 movie. So like I was saying earlier, when it comes to making Cyclonus an 86 figure, they'll just switch over the colour. Then moving on to the Studio Series 86 sweep. This isn't Scourge, unfortunately, different shade of blue and whatnot. I've never managed to get my hands on Scourge, but maybe if I'm lucky at TF Nation this year, which is a couple weeks away, maybe I'll find one and that'll finally complete the trio. Now for comparisons with figures that are a different size class entirely, here we have Reveal the Shield Trailcar, beautiful little guy, video mascot at this point. Here we have Kingdom Deluxe Huffer. As you can see, he's just go bring this down a little bit. Here we have Kingdom Huffer. Now I bring up Kingdom Huffer specifically just because he's from the same toy line as Cyclonus, so there's a little look at how they go together. But typically, you never go see these guys together. But, yeah, whatever. It's a little comparison for you. And just because we want to get extra interesting, we're going to bring in Lego Ralph. There you go, my favourite Simpsons character, just kind of sits there. Cool little dude. I think Lego minifigures look great with Transformers, specifically the smaller ones with the kind of half legs. Those are cool. If you want a random look at a normal Lego minifigure, we have Steve. He's quite cool, Anyway, enough of this. We're side questing a little bit. We're going to move on to the transformation. And moving on to the vehicle mode, beautiful purple spaceship. Not much to say about this besides the fact it's bloody awesome. gun storage is just as bad as most vehicle modes. You know, it's just kind of pegs into a 5mm port. If you want to get really creative, I guess you could try and find a way to get it on the back. You know, this port on the forearm, quite cool. You can get it on the roof. Not sure if you'd want that, but whatever. It's an option. Beautiful translucent orange windscreen for the cockpit. But I've got to complain about this because I'm not sure how it's happened, but it has. Now, this nose cone on my copy has yellowed. No bloody idea how it happened, considering the fact that he lives in robot mode. There's no sun exposure or anything like that to like any of my other figures or this particular part of this figure. And it's somehow discolored, so I'm confident that this is just a Hasbro QC problem. Something to do with the like pigmentation of the plastic or whatever the hell. Like, there's just constant issues with it. Now, I've noticed it with some other figures as well. My Kingdom Blaster, similar problem. I expect my Siege Soundwave to eventually just turn to crap because of this grey yellowing issue. What else do we have? So, you know, I'm looking at my shelves and I can't really see anything. So, oh yeah, Siege Astro Train, that's another one I've got, and he suffers from the grey yellowing syndrome, as we're gonna call it. I don't get why it happens, but it does. So, whatever, you know, that's a complaint, but it's not a knock on the figure, seeing as it's not something this is doing particularly wrong. It's just the fact that Hasbro made a questionable choice with the plastics they're choosing to use. So if we just move on to the vehicle mode size comparison. For comparison, we're not going to be comparing any other vehicle mode, to be honest, because there is no... I don't see too much of a point when this is meant to be a spacecraft, essentially, you know. I don't care how it scales with a car. Most people probably don't. So we're just going to compare it with other random things, you know. So we're going to bring Ralph back in. Beautiful little guy. Looks like it'd fit right on in there. Trail cutter. As you can see, Cyclonus is shorter than a trail cutter. Kingdom Huffer. I don't know, just because he was here. Our friend Steve. Beautiful stuff. And his Target Master. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'll edit this in if I'm wrong. But I do believe his name's Caliburst. Hold up, no. Nightstick. Nightstick is the name of this one. I'm confident it is. One day I hope to eventually own Universe Cyclonus just so I could pair this guy with him finally. Maybe that will be a find at TF Nation. But anyway, we're going to be moving on to the final thoughts so I can give my overall view on this and ranking and whatnot, because he's definitely my favourite figure so far. Okay, so final thoughts and a look at Cyclonus' partner for this video, Nightstick. Like I said, beautiful little Target Master, painted up. To transform him, you just go fold the arms, fold all these bits, fold them around like so. Just a simple little Target Master. Plugs into the hand. Brilliant stuff. There you go. Now overall, to start ranking this Cyclonus, he's bloody brilliant. We're going to be talking about the aesthetics on this guy. I think generally 5 out of 5. I don't really look at this and go, oh yeah, I wanted something that was the perfect like G1 animation look. I just wanted a really good representation of the G1 design. That's what this is, you know, with the slight differences in colour. The discoloration, it does frustrate me, but I know that even if I buy another one, it's going to happen eventually, so whatever, I won't. Anyway, beautiful stuff, nicely painted. Insert parts here, paint everywhere on this guy. Just generally an all-round beautiful figure. Veneers are really the only issue with the general look. Sure, you can take this joint, fold it inwards a little bit out of the knee, and kind of dip the knees inwards, but then he loses height, and I'm confident that isn't how he's supposed to be. So yeah, transformation on this guy is a 5 out of 5. Utter bliss, start to finish. I did have to kind of rejog my memory a little bit because I didn't remember how part of it worked, specifically this chest section, but it's really cool stuff. Achieves that vehicle mode seamlessly, so bloody excellent. Moving on to articulation, he's pretty standard stuff for a Transformers figure. He's not doing too much that another Transformer doesn't do, at least for his size class. So, you know, since he's doing everything well, and he's got a couple things that stand out for him, just like the shoulders aren't actually that bad. Biceps are a bit limited. The inwards and outwards movement of the wrists is nice if you can untransform the forearm a little bit. You know, it's generally decent. Everything's how you'd mostly expect it, so I'm going to give him a 4.5 out of 5. Just, yeah, it's all around solid stuff. Now, value for money on this, I'm giving him a 5. He's huge for a Voyager. By comparison, another modern Voyager is the 86 sweep, and there's a fair bit of height difference. The sweep is like considerably shorter. Now, the sweep as well, which makes this even worse, was more expensive, as it was Scourge, the original version of that sweep figure. And Cyclonus was before one of the next Hasbro price hikes. I believe I got him for like £27 or something brand new, and he's everything I'd want for that price point. And it's crazy considering the fact that the price I paid for him in an actual store when he came out is so similar to what they're charging for the Luxes now. It just makes me wonder why people still support this company, but that's probably a video for a different time. So we're going to end it out with his overall, and I've got to give him a 5 purely because he's got 5s in 3 of the 4 categories. And his other category, which is his weakest, articulation, is still a 4.5 out of 5. So I can't give him anything short of the perfect score. Definitely my favourite figure, probably followed by Hot Rod, then Wheelie, then, you know, it's kind of murky territory afterwards because everything else has some sort of issue, whether it's just a bit bland or issues with price point and whatnot, but Cyclonus, can't recommend him enough. If you ever find one for a decent price and the yellowing ain't too bad, go for it. You know, just, I have nothing else to say besides this is what I want every Voyager to be. This has been AnimatedCHUG. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.